Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name's Laura, and in this video, we're taking a road trip, kind of, to the little house or cottage my parents own, but they're selling it. And this was kind of like our last chance to go there. So we're road tripping. The car was totally stuffed because there's pretty much nothing left in the house. So we had like a water cooker and like pans, cutleries, cups, all kind of things, all sorts of things. And I just have a very small car, so it was totally filled. And it was also full moon, as you can see. So that was very spiritual to me, very special to me, because the full moon was actually guiding us towards the house. And just little signs like this, like for some people, it's probably insane, but for me, it's very important. So here we are. This is the kitchen. You enter here. Now, this is a very old house, even though it has been renovated a couple times throughout the years, because this was actually my grandparents' house. And that wood you see over there, that light blue wood, was actually very dark wood colored when I was little. Anyways, this is the first city we went to. It's called Terneuzen, and it was honestly so bubbly and so busy when I was little. And this hurt me to the core, honestly. I tried filming myself, but I was honestly a little emotional and I'm covering it with a smile. So that was a short clip because honestly, it's like a spooky town. I don't know how you call it, like a zombie town. There are approximately like 5 to 10 stores still open. The rest of it is all closed, left, empty. Graffiti is painted on the walls. This, however, was one of the stores that was open, and it's actually a thrift store. So I love thrift shopping. It's also better for the environment, and I love it. It's like treasure hunting, right? So this was a thrift store right there. It was kind of big. However, the prices were too high, if you ask me. There were some new items, so I guess it's worth the money, but while I'm thrift shopping, I just want to buy like bargains. This is my boyfriend, by the way. He is okay with being on video, by the way. I asked, it's fine. So, yes. So we're just walking through. We don't actually need anything, but we saw this very amazing, cool, kind of new cat. Like we call it a cat pole. I don't know. Maybe it's more like a castle. Our cats would love that, honestly. We don't have the space right now. We don't need it. Our cats can go outside, and in the new house, they have way more space outside, so we don't need it. But it was cool, and we like to spoil our cats. And then I saw this vase, and I was very intrigued by it. And let me tell you something really, really cool right now. So on this vase, it's hand painted by someone I don't know, but on the vase is actually our house. So this vase was painted in 1942, and one of those houses, I think the left one, but I'm not sure, one of those houses is the house that my parents own and my grandparents bought. That is super cool. The vase was way too expensive. Otherwise, I would have taken it. It was like 75 euros. I was like, nope, thank you. But I videotaped it because it was so cool. And yes, we are in living in December right now. So there were lots and lots of Christmas decorations. Oh, I love Christmas. I especially love the lights because yes, lights give me a safe warm, cozy feeling. I feel safe, I feel seen, I feel myself. I love lights, but what I also do love is this little, like, what do you call it? A trumpet? It's fake, obviously. It's just for decoration. It's like this tin or aluminum, I don't know, but it was so pretty and they had lots of different kinds also for like the candle sticks. It has like these, are they from mistletoes? I don't know, but from those Christmassy branches stuff. And we also saw this clock, which my boyfriend was very intrigued to buy because it was way more worth. It was worth way more. It was worth way more than the price they asked for it. It was a super old one. And just like this house, it's like this old style kind of house. It's like a glass inlet type of house. I really liked it. I also like this one and I almost took it because if you know me, I love nature. I love botanical stuff. And I was like, we don't have this yet. I need this. And I walked past it several times and I picked it up several times and yet I still not took it. And now I'm seeing this. I'm like, maybe I should have took it and bought it. However, we have lots of stuff. I don't really need it, but it's a really cool thing. All these pens we don't need, at least not now. But I just like going on a hunt. I didn't need any of this, by the way. Also, I didn't buy anything there. Neither did my boyfriend, by the way. We both didn't buy anything there. So, yeah. Oh, I also saw this one for €4. It was a huge cup. I would love to have it, but also right now we don't have the space. I loved it though. Now, right now we are driving out Terneuza and we're going back home. At least that was the plan. And I thought maybe you guys would like to see a little bit of landscaping in the Netherlands because I live in the Netherlands, Holland, the Netherlands. It's pretty much very organized everywhere. Not everywhere, but a lot of places are organized and neat. I love my country, and this is a very Dutch thing. If you look kind of on the right, you see these two bridges all the way up. That is definitely a Dutch invention because we have bridges that can open all the way up so that boats can go through. So, yeah, I thought, hey, maybe that's new for you guys. I don't know. Maybe you have it in your country. There you go. There's a bridge. I really don't know. But if you've never seen it, now you have. That's fun. Okay, so we're still driving. And it was honestly kind of nice weather. I liked it. It was kind of fresh and a little bit dark, a little bit sunny. So now we are in Goes. So I actually did some searching up front before the actual weekend, and there is a Christmas market in Goes, and Goes is a city about like a half-hour drive away from the house we were in. Um, and this was a very cute store. It was like a DIY store. It had lots and lots of different DIY projects and I found this like dinosaur like animal. I found it so cute. I love little things in life, okay? And that thing, yes, made me smile. And look at all these DIY thingies, all those colors. By the way, one of our cats is eating her food right now. I'm sorry if you hear it, and I'm not sorry if you like it. But Yes, these were one of the DIY things you could buy there. Honestly, they were kind of expensive, but my boyfriend really, really liked it. We didn't buy anything, but they were so pretty. And the left guitar, like violin thingy, I don't know what it was actually playing music and moving. So we are also moving through the city of Goes, and you just saw a couple of Santa Clauses. There was a normal market, which we're going to be in first or walking through first, and a couple of stores. And then later on, we actually found the Christmas market. Fun story. At first, I thought this was the Christmas market, and I was very bummed because it was not a nice Christmas market. But this store was nice. It was also quite expensive. I didn't buy anything there, but I love looking at stuff there. They had nice things, and they also had super nice Christmas decorations, like these candy canes. I'm pretty sure they were made of wood or some type of clay, I don't know. And also these cups with a little gingerbread man. Hello, super cute. Although I kind of feel like the ginger man has a huge dick attached to the cup, and it is hard to clean it, so I didn't buy it. I'm sorry if I'm too straightforward. I am Dutch, however, so we are like this. And I love this cute little Christmas dog. Like, isn't that cute with a glittery hat? I loved it. Imagine that in your tree. I love it. Anyways, it had lots of stuff, like interior stuff and clothes. And the interior things were honestly very nice. We have a Dutch saying, like, you can look your eyes out. If something's really pretty, you can literally look your eyes out. I was kind of doing that. So this is the like male part, but I saw pink. Okay, now pink is not per se my favorite color, but man, I do love color, and I do love this cute little doggy. It is a candle holder. It's like a dog on his birthday that can hold your candle. I thought it was very funky. I thought it was very cool. Also, did not buy it. I did not buy anything. But there were lots and lots of things I really liked, like the Dolce Vita plate. You are the cherry on my cake. You are the cherry on my cake. I love that. And there was another dog, birthday doggy on the bottom. Did you see it? That's cute. And I really like the cherry plate on the left as well. It was just a vibe. And the smiley, oh, I love everything. And the tree, yeah, I liked it all. Oh, and those little blocks you see on the right, oh, they vanished already. But those smelled amazing. Those are like the perfume blocks. Anyways, we were done looking at this store, or in this store. Very nice store, however. Back to the market. There was Christmas music, and there was a little bit of Christmas decorations. As you can see, a little bit of greenery, some lights here and there. And there was like a Santa Claus orchestra. Do you call it like that? And there was also like a Dickinson's choir, which we'll see later. So I really did thought, and we both thought, that this was the Christmas market I read about, and I was very bummed. But yeah, we were like, well, okay, we'll make the best out of it. As you can see, you'll see a couple of Santa Clauses there. They were actually playing St. Nicholas music, because that is a celebration we have before Christmas early on in December on the 5th, to be honest, and before. But yeah, that was weird because it was later than the 5th. So, anyways, we bought some fish and we ate it because it was lunchtime. And please give this video a thumbs up just because I really tried to film as much as I could. I'm not that great at filming, let's be honest. I really tried to take you guys with us. So, yeah. Anyways, that fish was great. I'm not a huge fish eater, but it was fine. And my boyfriend actually ate herring, and in the Netherlands, you get herring with onions on top, and you have to hold it over your head and eat it like that. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Anyways, there are the Dickinson, is it Dickinson or Dickinson's choir. As you can see, Christmassy vibes. So at this moment, we were still fully thinking that this was the Christmas market. It's funny if I think about it because, yeah, it was not that great. But this is the choir, and they were all dressed nice and they sang Christmas songs, and that was pretty nice. And I looked at it for a couple of seconds and then we went ahead. So, as you can see, they stood up in a circle, which was, I guess, nice for them to sing and be like good at singing and look at each other and stuff. However, for visitors, it was like it was a closed up meeting or something, and it didn't really invite us to look at it very long because it was, yeah, you were looking at people's backs wherever you were standing. So that was a strange option, but sure. Please let me know if this market, which is a pretty common, normal Dutch market with cheese, veggies, fish, sometimes like fabrics, stuff like that, bags, if that is also a very common market for you, or if your markets are way different than ours, I would love to know. This, however, is a very standard Dutch market. To me, it's nothing special, but in this case, it had a little bit of Christmas sprinkled because there was actually an ice skating place, like a little square you could go ice skating. Of course, it was fake because it doesn't really get below zero in the Netherlands, or at least very, very little. Like, it doesn't happen much at all. Like, maybe on its most, like once a year, I think. Well, maybe that's a little bit exaggerated, but it doesn't happen a lot. Anyways, we bought some spring rolls because it was still lunchtime and the only thing we ate was that little amount of fish, and we were still hungry, so we had 2 spring rolls each. And let me tell you, the Vietnamese spring rolls on the markets are pretty much always so good. And I have this medium hot sauce. There I am devouring the spring rolls, and they were so good, as you can see. And yes, I felt weird. I felt weird filming myself. But on the other hand, you know, who gives a shit, right? So, those we ate, and we are heading towards the rest of the market. Still nothing special or anything we needed, but we were like, hello, it's the Christmas market, okay? We need to see everything of it. And we were still surprised about how small it was and how not Christmassy it was. was. So we were like, anyways, we're here now. So let's go into the actual city because this was like the market side, okay? So here you have the choir again, and there were people on the terrace which were serenaded by them. I don't know if they liked it, but yeah, that was fun. And we headed towards the actual main street of Goes. So here are some pretty Christmas lights on the terraces, and I love lights. So I actually enjoyed this walk. And yeah, fun fact, I am a fast walker. So my boyfriend also is, but I like to walk fast. So I rarely walk behind people because I just skip them. I just go ahead and walk around them. So this was quite a busy street. This was actually the main street of Goes, and we decided to go into the Wee. But there wasn't much nice to see there. We finally, at the end of the main street, found the actual Christmas market, and I was so relieved, let me tell you, because I was like, yes, thank you. There is an actual Christmas market. So it's like a tent version, so it was a small inside part with lots and lots of different stalls. You had this tea one. We actually bought a couple of teas from this actual stand later on because we made a little circle first, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at these teas. But let's see the rest of the market first because I don't want to drag all of the stuff over the entire market. And also, I'm very much a bargain hunter, so I was like, maybe we'll see something better priced. But yes, she had quite a couple of teas and they smelled amazing. I love that she had little small, like, glasses of the actual tea so you could smell it, so you kind of know how it would taste. Anyways, lots of different stalls, just like this one. And you guys know me, I love spirituality, so I also love stones. And those had lots of different, no, actually, she had lots of the same stones, but different shapes. Anyways, moving on because it was packed there, okay? There were lots of different people and it was kind of shoulder to shoulder. So we were like, yeah, let's go. And also the stalls, they all have those interior things you see everywhere. I mean, I'm not saying they're not nice things, but they're very common things. Mostly very high priced. So, it's kind of like, the drill. Look at it and walk past it. I know this sounds so bad, but you just see a lot of the same things on these markets. So I wasn't really impressed with anything here. And this was a small piece of the market. And later, we'll go to a different part. But these stalls, I mean, they were pretty, and these were about lights, and I love lights and candles, but I wasn't really intrigued with anything really. However, the stall next towards this one, yes, had homemade, like self-made art with dried flowers. I was intrigued by that. Didn't buy anything though. Now, the second part of the Christmas market was actually in the church. Now, I mostly grew up at the edge of the Bible Belt, and it was a no go to put anything in the church. Anything. Like at Christmas time, you could not put decorations there, there couldn't be a Christmas tree there. Also, if you made things at school, like I don't know, drawings or some sort of things, you could not put those up in the church. It was like it was a no go. And in this church, they had Christmas trees, I'm pretty sure, and a whole Christmas market, a Christmas orchestra. Like there was Christmas music, loud, nice, and also amazingly, these like dream catchers. These were so pretty. However, there wasn't a price on any of those. Now, I'm a person, if I don't see the price on anything, I'm like, yep, cool, thanks. I am getting on with my life. Bye bye. I'm not like, if you want to sell something, put the price on the thing you want to sell. Okay, just a little tip. Also, on my website, Laura's Licht .nl or .nl. I'm sorry, I'm getting Dutch. But on my website, which is also in the description here below, you can actually find the prices, okay, of the tarot readings that I do. So if you want to know anything about that, go ahead and click on the link in the description. These are Zeeuwse Babbelaars, which are like Zeeuwse candy, and Zeus is the part of Holland where we are right now. It's like Zealand, yeah, and Zeus is the like language they have there. And that candy you just saw is the candy of the part of Holland where we are right now. And they actually had that candy in so many different flavors. Also, did not buy a thing, but actually, I could have. Yeah, they were kind of expensive though. I saw these rings, and I'm pretty sure they're thrifted. They were very pretty though, but it was so busy. I did not feel the need to actually try them on, but they were pretty, very pretty. Now, this stall is owned by this elderly man that is standing behind it. He handmade all of these lights. This was so cool. Like, we were so intrigued by this stall. We, had some small talk. That's what my boyfriend's doing right now, asking about the lamps. Do you make these yourself? Yes, I make these all myself, he said. And he had all of these old, like, interior things, and he kind of adjusted them to have a lamp or to make a lamp out of it. And I really like that teapot I'm pointing towards. It's so cute. It was like a clay or like a porcelain kind of teapot, and he made a cute lamp of it. Now, this elderly man you saw right there was actually handing out little lights for you to put on Make-A-Wish. There we go. There's one of the lights. Those were actually free, but we did donate it to the church after that. Now, there was another stall with some stones, and look at this amazing organ. I mean, Google Translate says this is an organ. We call it an orgel. But it's this amazing instrument that is in the church. Like, it's part of the bones of the church, kind of. Now, just walking around the Christmas market, it was such a vibe. Like, let me tell you, I really hope you can kind of feel it through the screen because it was so cozy. It was so nice. There was a loud Christmas music from this orchestra. There were Christmas cookies. It smelled like Christmas cookies. Everyone was so bubbly, so nice, so happy. Like, this was an awesome Christmas market. And look at all these cookies. We actually made that log a couple of years ago, but we made it way bigger and we made it with pure chocolate also. So ours was a little more homemade than that one. But yeah, that's an awesome thing to eat with Christmas as a dessert. A chocolate log, is it called? I think. Now, in this stall is also tea, like lots of teas. You could also smell those. Love that. And we also did buy teas at this stall. They also had different things for teas, like tea cans, um, cups, all sort of things. But we only bought teas. We bought like 2 teas from this one, I think, and 3 from the other one. This one was a bit more expensive than the other one, but these tea bags are actually filled with more grams of tea. So I guess I would say that this one was, if you look at the amount you get, this one was cheaper than the other one. However, the man behind the stall wasn't too friendly. It was definitely an old an old Zealand guy. Those guys are mostly very like tight, very reserved. Let me say it like that. Anyways, I like this stall. We hang out for quite a bit of time because we smell lots of teas. And I actually found a witch tea right there. And you can find that picture of the witch tea on my Instagram account. In Dutch, it's called Hexaday, T as in tea, and hex as in witch. Did not buy the witch tea, by the way. We did buy other teas, and you'll see those later on in this video. So this was actually a family thing for a lot of people. Our family just exists of us. But yeah, it was a fun vibe. And what we see here are what we call bird cakes. These are made of like fat bird seed, and they are just made up very pretty so you can look at it and the birds can eat it during the winter. Oh, I just see that that girl behind the stall had a Christmas sweater on, which is from Hema, and Hema is a Dutch store which has some characters, and she had the character on her sweater. That was fun. I did not notice. But yeah, we're back at the tea stall again. And as you can see right here, we're lighting our little candles that we just got earlier on from the elderly man. And we put it on, and we also donated to the church. And after that, multiple people after us donated, which we always love that chain reaction. This is actually the church the Christmas market was in. It's at the end of the main shopping street. Now I love this bit because here we are in the brewery in Goes, and this is a scary part because I'm afraid of heights, and that is glass. But apart from that, I want to live here, okay? It is pretty. It is all made with dark wood, like the dark stones. It called Slot Oostende, which means like castle. Is it castle? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Castle Ostende. And look at that chandelier. Look at that chandelier and the Christmas trees hanging down from the ceiling upside down. I really loved it. The greenery, the books, like I want to live there. And not because of the food only, because yes, we also had this little like bread dip kind of plate with fresh bread. It was honestly really, really good. And I ordered a latte macchiato with caramel And that was also heavenly, heavenly, because I was kind of cold because of walking outside the whole time. That was nice. My boyfriend really enjoyed the beers they had over there. Because let's be real, when you're in a brewery, you need to try their beers. And we did, or at least he did. And I tried some of his beer, and they were very nice. They were good. I personally prefer the very dark beers, like the very sweet, not bitter, but very sweet, heavy beers. And right now, you actually see me walking in Vlissingen because that is the next stop. Because after the Christmas market, we headed home, but we kind of drive past Vlissingen, and Vlissingen is like the beach city to go to, I guess, and to eat fish and just walk. But it was definitely like a flooded time. The sea was high, and I almost flew away because of the wind. As you saw earlier, like it was super windy. It was super windy, and it was like cold wind. My eyes were tearing up. Okay? Tearing up, not tearing. Tearing up. I am so sorry if my English is not correct. I am trying, and sometimes my tongue just doesn't work because let's be real, I use my tongue differently in Dutch. It's just different. Anyways, we are walking on the pier in Vlissingen. It started raining. It started raining. We got wet, but we still walked, and we were so fresh during and after this walk. Honestly, like the sea wind, like the cold sea wind with the rain. Yeah, it was a combination to get fresh. Fresh. And also, I really liked the Christmas lights everywhere. But yeah, in case you didn't believe me, it was definitely raining. But I kind of liked it. And here we have a hotel that had lovely Christmas trees up front. The sea was kind of scary. I'm like not a water person. It was, mysterious. Let's call it like that. With the dark clouds, everything. It was very wintry. Yeah, my camera was also getting wet. And the person in front was also getting wet, but apparently also loved to walk there because she walked up front. We did not know her, so we just let her walk. We also did walk a tiny bit actually on the beach, and let me tell you, in summertime, that beach is way bigger. Okay, it's definitely very different in the summer. But yeah, it's December. You get this kind of weather. Welcome in the Netherlands. It's basically like England, okay? We're not very different weather-wise. So it could be, excuse me, it could be raining, and then half an hour it could be sunny. Like, hello. Anyways, after Vlissingen, we were back in the house, and my boyfriend actually took a nap, and I worked a little bit on my phone for Laura's Licht, which means Laura's light in Dutch, in case you want to know. But yeah, okay. After doing a nap, we were on the road again, and we went to a different city. This is in Belgium, and it is called Ghent. And probably the Flemish people would say Ghent, which is more with a soft G than we Dutchies call it. But yes, this is the place we parked the car in a parking garage under this place right under this square. So we actually walked quite a while to get to the actual Christmas market here in Ghent. And Ghent is once again in Belgium. Now, the place my parents have a house is in Zeeland, which is a part like a province of the Netherlands, right on the bottom left part. So, also the place where the house is very much on the bottom, so it's not far to go to Belgium. We actually drove through Belgium to get to the place where the house is. So, fun fact. Anyways, this is the Christmas market in Ghent, and it was busy. It was busy, quite busy, yeah. However, I don't know if that's like a Belgium thing and a Dutch thing, but when it's very busy in Holland, people tend to get irritated and pushy. And here on this Christmas market in Ghent, people were so not irritated. They were so cheery and so like patient. They were so patient and just nice. Yeah, that was a very nice experience. And I loved all the lights, and the music was super, super loud. So if you get overstimulated very easily, just like me, maybe it's better to just wear earplugs. I did not, however, because I didn't have them with me, I forgot. Look at that amazing church, by the way. I think it's very pretty. But yeah, if you get overstimulated very easily, wear earplugs to these kind of things because you will get overstimulated because there's music, there's lights, there's people, there's smells, like everything you can get overstimulated to, it is there. Okay, so now we actually bought glue wine, and glue wine is a German wine. It's a warm wine. It's like with cinnamon and all kinds of spices. It's a very wintry wine and I love it. Let's be real. There are different kinds of glue wines, as in quality. Like quality wise, you have like a watery glue wine, or you have like the actual heavy and um very flavorful blue wine with lots of spices in it and fruit, and oh, I love it. This one was quite nice actually. So honestly, I recommend you to try glue wine if you have it somewhere, if you can drink it somewhere, try it. Or make it at home because it's not that hard. Oh, churros. There were lots of stalls with churros. Honestly, the stalls in this market weren't spectacular at all. I would say 80% of all the stalls were food. I did like this Christmas tree. It was an attraction. Like you could go in there and spin around. We did not, but that looked fun. Here is another attraction. It's this Ferris wheel. We also did not go in there, but look at these amazing like bows. Bows? Like things you could walk under. Yeah, no, they're called bows. I'm not totally brain dead. They're called bows, right? With the lights on top. You see them? I see them. Those were a very fun touch. I loved walking underneath them. I felt very festive. I felt very festive and special. I don't know why. I just love lights and walking under lights and being with lights surrounded. Look at that Ferris wheel. That is absolutely gorgeous. And the Christmas music was so loud at that Ferris wheel. It was an amazing vibe. Like, I got into the Christmas vibe because of this weekend and the Christmas markets. There you go. I don't know if you can read it. You know, it's dark, but there it says Gent, which is the city. And right there, we did eat because it was 9 o'clock in the evening and we did not eat yet. So here we have our food. I actually ordered shrimps in pesto sauce. It was great. It was also not expensive. It was fine. I think we paid like 60 something euros for everything. That is including drinks. So that was not much. It's cheaper than Holland. Belgium is cheaper than Holland. You know, I could look at those light patterns in the Ferris wheel for a very long time. I find them very hypnotizing and pretty. Don't you think? Wow. I think that's so cool. Oh, the flickering lights are back. That is so pretty also. And the neighbor is doing something in their home. I'm very sorry if you hear that. I really hope they stay quiet for a second, please. Thank you. Anyways, look at all the lights everywhere, around the windows, everything. I love it. I love all the details. And the lights just, yeah, let me just stop talking about the lights because I think you get the point right now. Yeah, it was a pretty Christmas market. And right here we have a stall with like the dough rollers, but the rollers have like figures in them, carved in them 3D. So if you roll them over your dough, you'll get these figures in your dough. However, let me be real, I don't think they would be very noticeable if you actually baked your cookies and baked your dough. I think the figures or the symbols you have on your rolling dough would be faded. Okay, so here we have some nougat, a huge nougat, by the way, and some waffles, Belgium waffles. Belgian waffles are nice, by the way. I don't think they're very different to regular waffles, maybe thicker. So the neighbor is actually drilling right now, and that would be the reason why I have to cut a lot in this voiceover. So if you notice that, this is the reason. This Ferris wheel is kind of fast, isn't it? I think it is. So here we had a little shop slash stall which had cotton candy or candy floss, however you want to call it, and also a Dutch candy, which literally translated is called bacon. However, it's not bacon, but it does have these layers of like a foamy candy. It's like a marshmallow, but different. Mostly very sugared, around also. It's way too sweet. However, we did buy these churros, and these churros are also sweet, but I do like churros. However, I do not like the churros with cinnamon and sugar all around. Do not like those. We bought truffles at this stall. This was actually a Dutch store, which was fun. We found that out after we bought truffles here. So here are so many chocolate truffles in different kind of flavors like whiskey, strawberry, speculoos, like gingerbread kind of cookie. I don't know, like pure chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate. There were all sorts of flavors, and we did buy a box, and you also see that later in the video. But my boyfriend is carrying it with me, or carrying it with him. And those policemen you just saw walking by are actually Dutch policemen. It's just fun because Ghent is quite near the border of Belgium and Holland, so the police officers from Belgium and Holland help each other out every once in a while. And here you have kruidnoten. And kruidnoten, or also known as pepernoten, is a Dutch cookie, like gingerbread kind of small cookie, which is spread around with the celebration of Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas is a history kind of party, feast. It's like the Dutch version of Santa Claus, except Saint Nicholas was actually a saint and actually lived on this earth, and Santa Claus is fictional. However, St. Nicholas has these small cookies, and when I was little, those cookies were only the standard cookies. Those were the only cookies available. Pepernoten, pepper nuts, or kruidnoten, which is like herb nuts, literally translated. And yeah, you only had the standard ones. Nowadays, for the kids nowadays, you have all kinds of flavors, okay? And the most common ones are the standard ones and the chocolate ones, but you have all kind of flavors nowadays. Anyways, at this stall you have all these amazing sausages, and yes, we did buy a sausage from here. This was a Frenchman. I'm not sure if he actually lived in Belgium or lived in France. I did not ask, but we did buy a sausage from him. And look at the canal there. We are walking towards our car now because the market is actually closing, and this was around 11:30. So that was closing time. So on that Saturday, we actually visited 5 different cities, and we were so tired after that. The next morning, I was awake kind of early still, and I decided to make a lovely Sunday breakfast, or at least as lovely as I could make it, because we didn't have a lot in that house. We didn't buy a lot of groceries or anything. So I was quite limited, but I did make breakfast, okay? And I also did the dishes because, as you saw earlier, that kitchen does not have a dishwasher, which is fine because it's a little like vacation cottage. It's a little vacation house, homey thing. So right now I'm actually trying to make some orange juice, and we do not have any tools for that there. And also, these oranges are not like the squeezable oranges. They're actually the regular, just eat them out of your hand oranges. However, we took them with us from home, and they really, like, they were at the end of their lives. They need to be devoured, they need to be eaten. So I decided to make juice out of them, kind of. And I just add a little bit of water to that juice to make it a little bit more of a drink rather than a shot. So now breakfast is complete with a small cup of orange juice, freshly juiced. You're welcome. And we can have breakfast and begin the day. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm getting everything out of the fridge. And after this, I'm waking up my boyfriend to tell him the breakfast ready. Actually, I did not have to do that. He came by its own, by itself. I have some tea, have some coffee. This is the lamp we got at the stall from the elderly man that made this. Do you still remember it? I do. We bought it. Yes. And here on this painting is our house. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this was painted later than the vase. This was painted in 1960. Now here I'm opening up the truffles that we bought at Truffle Mania on the Christmas market in Goes, and we chose like half of all the flavors pretty much. We chose lots of different flavors, and let me tell you, they are so darn good. These are so tasty, so nice. Let me tell you, they are worth your money. They really are. So here you see the three first teas we bought at the Christmas market, at the first Christmas market in Goes, which is amaretto, like this almond type of drink. Amaretto is pretty common, right? And like cherry one, a mango one, all sorts of teas. This is one of the brands you can buy it. Just stay. Keep in mind, they're Dutch. Okay, I don't think you'll need this, but I like supporting other businesses. Anyways, it is time to go home right now. And honestly, I was super emotional for this because I grew up, a part of my life grew up here, okay? My grandparents had this house, my parents have this house, many vacations were spent here, and this is probably the last time I see this house or I spend a small vacation or trip at this house. So, yes, I was emotional. I don't want to get rid of this house. If I had the money, I would have bought it, but I don't. So I'm saying goodbye to this house with a lot of emotions and love for this house and this place. But for now, it is time to end this video. We're almost home. I want to ask you to click on the thumbs up and the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and until next time.